Hi everyone, and welcome to Legal Studies. And today we're going to be studying the role of legal aid. So where are we in our study design? Well, we're right here. We've just started the section of the study design on determining a criminal case, and this dot point here is all about the role of institutions. So we study two institutions: we study legal aid, and we study community legal centres as a way of assisting accused people on their way to a trial. When it comes to Victoria Legal Aid, there's basically three categories of things that they can do to help people, to help accused people. Three roles that they're going to play. The first is in providing free legal information. So, for example, everyone can access Victoria Legal Aid's website. There's free resources like there's fact sheets about particular crimes, there's information about what to do on your day in court and things like that. And anyone can access these things. And these same sorts of pieces of information can all be accessed as well by telephone. So the first thing that Victoria Legal Aid can do, and it can do this for everyone, is to provide information. Then the sort of next step up in terms of assistance available to people is advice. So this is a little bit more specific than information. Information is general, anyone can use it. Advice is something that would apply to a person's particular situation. And so legal aid can give advice to people in person or over the phone or through a video conference um, and things like that. Finally, the third category of thing that legal aid can do for you is to provide legal representation. And this is the final sort of level of assistance that they can offer. Legal representation is when the lawyer actually comes with you to court and can speak on your behalf and help you in that way. And so we can see each of these is progressively sort of more assistance from legal aid. First, you've just got information. Then you might get some advice from legal aid. And then finally, the lawyer themselves might come and help you in court. In terms of legal representation that legal aid can give you, there's two types of legal representation that you might get from legal aid. The first is called duty lawyer service. And essentially, a duty lawyer is someone who works at the courtroom. And on the day, you might come and see this person, see this lawyer, the duty lawyer, and say, hey, I've got this issue. Can you help me out today? And the duty lawyer might give you some advice, or the duty lawyer might represent you sort of on the spot that day. So that's the first type of legal representation. And then the second type of legal representation that you can get is probably the one that you're more familiar thinking about. That's when legal aid can give you a grant of legal assistance. So that means you essentially get your own legal aid lawyer and they will work your case from start to finish. They'll do all the preparation, they'll come to court and they'll represent you. So let's dive a little bit deeper into these two. Let's look at what a duty lawyer will do and what a grant of legal assistance will do for you and when you might be able to get these things. So first of all, a duty lawyer is a little bit easier to get than a grant of legal assistance, but not much easier. They're both pretty hard to get. First of all, if you go and see a duty lawyer, if you go to the magistrate's court and you ask for a duty lawyer, they can give fact sheets to anyone. So if you come into the duty lawyer's office, they might have some fact sheets available for you and anyone can get them. But if you want some advice from them, if you want legal advice from the duty lawyer, first of all, you're going to have to pass an income test. So you're going to have to show something like a Centrelink card or a pensioner's card because legal aid prioritises people who have low income. They also prioritise people who are in custody. So maybe you got arrested overnight, you've been held overnight in jail, so the duty lawyer would prioritise helping you. And then they could give you some advice. If you had a simple, straightforward sort of a matter, they could give you some advice and you could represent yourself. If you had a more significant matter, something a bit more serious, then they could give you some representation. They could speak on your behalf at court. And again, you've got to satisfy the income test and be facing a significant charge, such as a stalking charge or a threat to kill or something like that. And in that case, they'll represent you. On the other hand, if you've got a slightly more substantial sort of case, something that's going to last more than just sort of one day in court, something that needs to be prepared for, something that might have a few days of trial potentially, then you're looking at something that requires a grant of legal assistance, where the lawyer will work on your case for an extended period of time. And in order to be eligible to get this, you need to pass what's called the means test. And essentially, legal aid will assess how much income you make and how much you have in terms of assets. So you can see here on the table, they'll look at your income, they'll look at your assets, and they'll make a decision on whether or not they'll fund your case. And we can see here that the numbers are pretty low. In order to qualify for a grant of legal assistance, you need to be earning less than $360 a week. And if you reflect on your own part-time jobs that you yourself have, some of you might be already close to earning that amount with your part-time jobs. So it's pretty unlikely. Anyone who's got a full-time job is pretty unlikely to be able to qualify just on this criteria alone. And then you also have to have under a certain amount of assets. So under $1,095 in assets. So that's looking at things like, the value of your property, your house, if you have one, other assets that could be sold off, like, furniture and things like that. So this is a pretty hard threshold to meet. Not many people are this poor. And so it's really actually quite hard to get a full grant of legal assistance. They might partially help you, and then you might have to be contribute some of the cost if you can have a look at the scale yourself. But basically, the main point for you to sort of understand is that this is really quite a hard bar to pass. It's rare to get a grant of legal assistance. And that's it for the role of legal aid.